spin you this way so everybody can see you. Riley's just getting us underway here on the Ripon channel. So thanks for you for joining us. We have quorum, so that's nice.
Yes.
So, that's appreciated.
So is this what we can use all the time now? We haven't had this before like this.
Oh, that's just mine.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's all right. I only got the 40-minute free version of Zoom, so we gotta go quick, right? No.
Okay.
But,
All right, we'll wait for Riley to come
yeah,
in.
exactly.
It's nice to have some sunshine today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we're live.
All right, we're live.
All right, with it being 4:01, I will call the meeting to order. And Riley, do you need to take attendance? Do you think?
Sure, I'll take attendance. Desiree Bongers, absent. Maddie Coster is absent. Travis Liptow.
Here.
Jillian Schatzinger.
Here.
Jason Mansmith.
Here. Adam Sante.
And
Adam Sante is
City
joining us.
Administrator.
All right, we'll give you a few moments to review the meeting minutes that Riley submitted yesterday to us. And if there's any changes or corrections, please let us know. Otherwise, I'll obtain a motion to approve. I don't see any corrections, so I will make a motion to approve.
I second it.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, we'll move on to budget. Riley.
As you can see from the budget papers in front of you, we are at 31.27% of the annual expenditure, budgeted expenditure so far, with 33% of the year expired. So we're tracking right on course. Since our last meeting, we've purchased an iPad and a stand and a microphone for it. And we're using it to good effect. And what else we do? We paid for a camera that we purchased last year, and we purchased a nice wide angle attachment for that same 4K camera. Makes it a little more functional for the kinds of shooting we're doing.
Is that for primarily in the field? Or
Yes.
Okay, not permanent or anything like that?
It's a nice camera, it's just the lens is a little narrow. That helped it out.
Question about the iPad and the stand. I've heard people, not necessarily specifically about the Ripon channel, but say that the iPad doesn't have the best speaker for recording. Has that been okay, or are you using a different speaker system to capture the sound?
We have a microphone.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And then you're connecting that with the iPad.
Yes,
Got it.
yes. And it's better. It's better than the iPad's built-in sound for sure. I think it's sufficient.
It's working. Okay.
All right. Any other further discussion on the budget at this time? You have to approve on that? We can just move forward on that. We don't have to.
Well,
We'll just review, right?
our last note said Ripon Channel needs to hire people, so that could potentially affect the budget, but unless there's something, you didn't touch on it though, so.
Oh, well, we have hired people. We've hired 2 people, and they're both coming along well in their training. They were both really green when they came in. As far as video experience, they're coming along just fine. One of them has since gotten a full-time job, so he's still an employee here, but he has less availability than he did before when he was hired.
So 3 total staff?
There are 3 now.
I guess technically that could have gone under programming reports, but I didn't know if that affected the budget. So you're on track for what you need then, and
I think so,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, looks like the trending. And this is not typically a very busy budget time for salaries right now, right? Because you don't have a lot of other.
April and May have been pretty busy for us, but June and July will be pretty slow.
And those are some of the school programs and things like
Yes.
that, right? Yeah. All right, any further discussion on the 2023 budget at this time? All right, we can move on to reports. Programming.
Well, the last time we met was in January, so we have,
We don't have to approve the budget. Do we need to? Do we need to approve the budget?
We certainly can if you want.
No.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, no worries.
That's okay. So we finished winter sports, and we've been busy training 2 new employees and integrating new equipment. We've been doing a lot of meetings, as usual. Lots of school concerts again this year. And as we discussed briefly at the last meeting, we have some Ripon College music programs up on our site now. That's nice. Nice performances, good recordings. That's great. I went to Ripon a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago, and made a video of a Glenn Grothman town hall and put it up on our site. So anyone who wants to see what our United States representative has to say, it's there.
Now, Joan Balwick, also our, who had spoken more recently at our city council, also had some town halls. Do you
I
try to
didn't
cover
get to that.
both?
I do try to cover that. I didn't get to hers.
Is that, have we always done those things? Or
No,
is this somewhat
no,
new-
we haven't.
new opportunity?
No,
Okay.
it was I saw the posting that he put up about his town halls, and there were 2 of them that were relatively close that I could get to, so I went.
I have no concern with it, you know, I just wasn't sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
I think it's great, right?
It
Whatever.
just seemed appropriate.
Yeah. Any additional things that we're looking at for the school district or college coming up that we may be interested in, or?
No, for the rest of the year, not really. Graduation, we'll stream the high school graduation
Okay.
in 10 days, and we'll record the Memorial Day ceremonies on Memorial Day at Village Green.
Is that live or is
I
that?
won't be around for graduation, unfortunately. But I think I sent you an email. It's all the same setup as last year. The network jack in the floor is ready to roll. All I ask is when you do plug into the network, give it just a few seconds for your computer to get the IP address. It just takes a little bit. We've cleaned out those ports as best as possible, but they're in the gym floor, so they get quite grimy.
You said that was the west port, right?
Yes, yep, and just like I said, give it a few seconds before you know, when you'll get an IP address and internet. It just isn't the fastest with those. We clean them up best we can, but it does work. We did do it. It just took like maybe 5-10 seconds for the computer to connect, and then it was great.
That's fine. That won't be an issue at all.
Excellent.
What about things such as the baccalaureate, in addition to the graduation, or any of the end concerts coming up at the high school, middle school, elementary?
Well, the middle school and high school concerts just happened, just the last 2 weeks, and we streamed those live. Baccalaureate, no, we don't normally do that.
To Memorial Day, is that just a record only, right? That's not
Yeah,
a
we
live
record
stream?
that.
Okay,
Because there'd be a great deal of downtime. Plus, there's no web connection out there.
right. And we don't have that cellular thing available during these months, right? That's only during the,
Now it's $300 a month, so we just pay for it in
Yeah.
football season.
understood. Understood. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Any other information on programming we need?
No. Well, maybe you do, but I'm not sure what it is.
All right, questions? Otherwise, move on to operations. We'll let you take the floor for a little bit more.
Okay. I guess this would be the point to talk about the iPad and the stand and to cover that again. It's a nice little rig. It's very portable. It shoots nice wide angle video, so it's easy to cover a meeting, a table at close space. And the microphone that we plug into it was inexpensive and works well. And and Patrick and James are both proficient at the post-production that we need now. And there's that. Oh, and I mentioned the video camera. It's a nice 4K capable video camera, and it has a nice wide angle attachment now that gets it, just for a frame of reference, it gets it so that at the back of the high school auditorium, we can frame arch to arch. So like I said, the lens is kind of narrow. It wouldn't quite do that before. And so the images look sharper than they used to.
All right. Anything else?
That's about it.
Legislative side, anything? Crickets?
Crickets. Crickets. Issues like peg channels, that's way at the bottom of the log jam down there.
I think that's why it's nice that we are looking at covering, again, maybe the town halls and those things, and those are not meant to be political, right? As a reminder, those are informational, so I think it's nice that when you show up and do that, that means that we're on the minds of our government officials. I would imagine, at least.
I did encounter a couple of raised eyebrows.
Sure, yeah.
All right, public feedback, anything for discussion?
We had one issue with sound at a common council meeting that I'll put down to training, and the sound wasn't on the broadcast for the first 10 or 12 minutes. We got some feedback.
But that's been taken care of, rectified.
That's right.
Right.
That issue is solved.
All right, discussion. A few things here. Ideas for programming, revenue, technology, partnership, social media. All of it, I guess, under discussion here.
All of it.
Any additional programming desires?
It's occurred to me that we might, do you think it's appropriate to invite our county board representatives to give us brief video overviews of what the county board is doing, maybe once a quarter?
Do they provide us with those county board meetings still?
I have to go get them. I have not contacted them about that.
We have to go get them. Like pick up a physical copy of it?
Well, I don't know if we need to pick up a physical copy of it.
Okay.
But I was thinking more along the lines of the op-eds that we've seen in the Commonwealth recently. Maybe a brief video version of that would be nice. Thoughts?
Well, I think that would be nice, but I'd also think that the whole meeting would be nice to see too. I mean, you can log on to their site and take a look at it too, but.
Sure.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what is the challenge with broadcasting the county board? Why are we not currently doing that?
Well,
Because our last meeting was reaching out to county board to broadcast county board meetings. How has that process been?
I just haven't done it. I just haven't done it. So really, I guess what I need to do is, well, I guess I could start bombing emails. Kat would be a good start. She would know where to go.
Wouldn't we start with like the county, either county executive? I mean, Sam Kaufman, instead of our.
Do you think that he'd be the appropriate contact?
Because what we're getting approval is to show the entire meeting, and so if he's kind of leading it, right, or like I would say that would be my suggestion.
I can't imagine that they'd really have an issue with it. I mean, they broadcast the meetings.
Because here's what I would say here. Let's say, I think about it, the city. Let's say you contacted me
Okay.
and said, Jolene, do I have approval to broadcast the city council? I would say, that's a great idea, but I'm the representative. So our representatives, I would have to go to probably Adam, our city administrator.
Sure.
Right? So, and if Sam Kaufman, our county executive, can't give that approval, or my guess is he knows who to work with, who's doing them, perhaps behind the scenes, technology-wise, so you work directly with them, he would know who that person would be.
Right.
So,
Okay. Where's the search function?
and he's been responsive to me when I've asked him questions, so my guess is it would be his phone call, email.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not saying we have to take them live by any means,
Oh,
right?
right.
It's but just to have it available, I think would be, for those folks who maybe don't have the live access to the internet or, watch it on a traditional channel. Can you find it on a traditional channel in the Spectrum lineup?
Not here.
I don't believe so. So, I know so it'd be nice if maybe some of those customers would be able to have that option.
Kaufman's with a K, right?
Correct.
So he's not even in there.
What do you mean? So if you're looking, just go to the Fond du Lac County website, county executive, Fond du Lac County executive,
.y.gov.
just Google it.
Yeah.
I would
We
say.
don't have to email them now, but.
Right.
Right.
I think it would be.
I'm just marking it for my own use.
Yeah, smart for us to at least reach out to him and see if we can add that
All right.
plug-in option there.
It seems like a good public service, doesn't it?
Sure. Sure. And if we can get them to just send us a copy of the file, then it's pretty painless.
Right.
Right.
And that's got to exist.
It has to somewhere.
Right. It's not that difficult, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know.
But back to your question then, if folks want to be interviewed as far as the updates, I would just say my preference would be that you look at, I think we have two that cover when we look at the city of Ripon, because that's what we have two county representatives. I would be sure that you ask both.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea to interview them
Yeah.
if they were interested.
Right. Would that be something like you're having them come in to record that? Is that something you do via,
I guess you could do it either way.
right,
I'd be
they can
just
do it
have
on
them
their,
come here and-
phone or something
Yeah, they
like
could,
that,
yeah,
and send it
sure.
away as well?
Sure, we could even do a Skype or a Zoom.
Mhm.
So.
Are you expecting this to be like a long form program, or is that just like a 5-minute vignette or something?
3 or 5 minutes, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it's just dropped in.
Roads, bridges,
Periodically.
health services,
Okay.
emergency services, staffing.
How does that roll into the programming? Like, is it a specific block for 3 minutes, or does it just get rolled through the slideshow, or inserted into there?
Something of that length that would be in the slideshow.
Okay.
And be in that rotation.
So we're gonna need to have a few of them in the can pretty early, otherwise they start getting stale quick.
Right.
Right. So,
Right.
okay. I think it'd be a good idea. I mean, the op-eds are great to keep everybody informed as they are in the print version, so
Sure.
that digital video version would be great, I think, as well. So. Okay. Any other programming ideas?
Yeah. Are you interested in hosting the walk around at the FFA breakfast again this year?
Hey, that was fun last year. I don't know what went into sort of, making the final version or how much work, but that's always kind of neat. I don't know, do you think that's something that every year we should do?
I liked it.
Good piece.
Yeah, you thought so. Yeah, that's coming up, always Father's Day,
Right.
end of June.
Right.
How much advance notice did you have last year that you were gonna do that?
I don't
So
know.
now you have a month.
It was a little bit spontaneous.
Yeah, it was, I think, more spontaneous.
It looked like you surprised the people at the breakfast.
Yeah, yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was more spontaneous. If folks think that was a neat thing, I think that's absolutely, why
I
don't you
thought
look
it
at your
was great.
staffing to see if they're available on that day?
I thought it was great. I think we could get someone. Yeah.
Quick question, we mentioned that you're going to be streaming the high school graduation. What does it look like from the college, as far as I know that they have someone that records that? Does that mean that they have the rights, or have we ever talked with them about maybe perhaps rebroadcasting the graduation from the college?
Never had that conversation. We could rebroadcast it.
So that would be reaching out to Manny?
Or even just link to it.
From our committee here, do we think?
I just watched it for 2 or 3 minutes just this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either Rick.
Oh, yeah, Rick.
Rick would be the.
Yeah.
Did Rick do it?
I'm assuming he'd be the contact, and that's his
It's what he does.
overseas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
I was just thinking more of our committee, but you're right, go
Yeah.
right to Rick.
Yeah.
Speaking of college, though, we're really happy with the files that we got from the music department. They sound fine. They look pretty good.
Great.
It took very little to prep them for broadcast.
Makes it even better then.
Right.
So summer, I think if we don't have maybe formal high school or college athletics or music, what about the league? Baseball games, those things, can we broadcast those, or at least ask someone, would they want to?
Baseball's okay. We've tried baseball. It's hard to make it look good. It's hard to find an announcer.
Oh, yeah, that's, I guess,
Right.
different there
Yeah.
too. I understand.
It's just a little different.
Yeah.
It's a good
Cool
idea.
idea, right?
It
Yeah.
is. It's a great idea. It takes a lot of cameras to make successful baseball coverage, I think. I mean, we could put up one camera out there and just have one camera out there. It looks through the screen, and you can see the pitch, and you can see the hitter, and once the ball's off the bat, that's it. And you see people run around, but you don't really see the ball. And if it's fly ball in the corner, you're not going to see it.
You got a whole book of ideas. What do
You
else
do.
you got going?
You do. One of the things, when we're not quite as busy with events, we're not necessarily sitting still. We do a lot of mundane things, firmware updates, and making sure that all the pieces of gear that get a little bit abused during the year get repaired and reconfigured, and make sure that everything works right again. There's some shop time involved.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, an idea that we missed this year, that and I was thinking about it because I miss going on it, but I love going on the Southwoods Spring Flower Walk. And so one year I would love for that to be filmed. Or we ask,
Wear a GoPro.
yeah, that would be fun. So I'm sorry that we missed that this year, but a note for next year.
That's good. Because if you get it on the right day at the right time of year, there are many, many nice flowers.
You may want to also reach out, when you talk to the college, they did a small documentary on Southwoods that would be worth putting on.
It would. And it sounds like they're mostly looking for ways to promote it and distribute it.
You said the college. I think that was Southwoods Park Association, right? Or was that?
I think the college helped them.
Okay.
I just watched it.
It was good. I thought it was done well.
Were you in it?
No. It's way too good for me to ruin it.
And always taking public ideas and comments from people if they're programming ideas within reason.
Within reason,
Right.
right.
Are you updating our Facebook page?
WIT is doing that.
Because an idea we could send her is simply put a couple asks out, every couple months or something. Hey, what ideas would you like to see?
Boy, I think we've tried that a few times,
I
and it just
know,
kind of like,
yeah, we don't really get much, but
yeah,
just
fizzles out on those things, right?
You're
But-
covering library board now.
Yes, we
You're
are.
putting that on, so that's important.
Yeah.
That was never
Library
covered
boards.
before.
Library boards there all the time.
so,
And the park meeting when it happens.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
And the
sure
fire
if there's,
district
I'm sure
was-
if there's any programming up at the senior activity center that happens, we can get you in to film it as well, because every so often there'll be things going up there.
Fire district and historic preservation have been really high view counts lately.
Do they have their own iPad by chance at the senior
There is
activity
one,
center?
yeah, but I don't know if we'd have to get the microphone situation worked out.
Yeah. We do have a nifty little mic. Works real well for
But
the
then,
price.
but there's the screen, so you may need to, like, the screen is big enough that you may need to be able to zoom into it a little bit.
Okay. I'm just trying to, maybe if they just record it and then get it to us.
Oh,
It
that-
might be
yeah.
an option
Yeah.
for us to say, hey, can you just run a record on this thing? Send us the file and we can get it there. So-
Sure, and there's that too.
Right.
Great idea.
So,
There's that too. And to Jolene's earlier point, yes, the audio's probably less than you want, but they're good software tools. You can generally make something out of it.
Okay.
All right, any other pages of programming ideas, which is good. I'd like to see a lot of those come to fruition too. I think it'd be good for the viewers and anybody else who's interested in it, so. Let's talk revenue.
Okay, let's talk revenue.
Like, we haven't met in a while, right? And there's obviously, we know those payments from cable companies are gonna start going by the wayside, right?
Yes, they are.
What's the course of action here on that?
I don't know, I'm at a loss.
Okay. Because I doubt
I'm at a
the city
loss.
of Ripon is gonna be generous to just say, hey, we're gonna front $83,000 in a budget your way. I'm guessing that
I'm
probably
guessing
won't.
the answer is no.
I mean, the most recent franchise fee was $20,295
Right.
and
Oh, I missed.
52 cents.
I said it was $8.96, it was $2.96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20, so that just came in.
That was today,
for
right?
That was today, so that's the end of the first quarter. So,
Yeah.
in terms of, revenue from cable franchise fees, we're at 83,000, so I mean, we're not far off.
Right.
So,
We're
and
gonna
then
need-
the state with their shared revenue from a legislative perspective in the state budget and everything, I think they've held course on the municipal aid for TV cable providers, so there's still that out there that's being funded. So, I mean, it comes down to then just programming revenue and advertising. So we've talked about that in the past, I don't know how many times, but formalizing an agreement with any partner that wants to.
Right.
Is it, and Riley, and if you don't know, that's fine, is there anybody that we're aware of on a local level like this that is doing that successfully? In terms of having underwriting support?
Not for 100% of the operation.
Okay.
People that are doing it for 100% of the operation are just, guys that go around and do whatever they can with whatever funds are available.
But we've kicked this can down the road a bunch though, right? We're like,
Yeah.
okay, we'd like to do these things, we'd like to do these promo videos, then we partnered with other organizations and stuff like that.
I really think it's gonna come down to, just like everything else, it's gonna come down to sponsorship and underwriting.
Who does it though? That's the thing. Because the city doesn't want to get into that.
No.
I think you're like,
No, and there's a tough line there because most of what we do is meetings and government policy and showing people that, so how do you square that with underwriting?
no, I get it. But if we look at it from 5 years from now, does this still exist? doesn't.
Right, so it's a problem
Right.
that needs to be solved.
Right. And how do we get there? Right? That's the problem. Because we've tried, right? And I don't know where we're at on that. So I think a full look at where we're at strategically is probably a good time now.
I agree.
I recall, I thought you said you might be looking at other cities that have something like this. I think some cities have even merged for some of their programming. Maybe that's a report that we want to at least start talking and connecting with other places and get some minds together. Do you have a list of places, other cities in Wisconsin? Maybe that's
Yes.
something you could.
Yeah, Wisconsin
Yeah.
Public Media, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Wisconsin Community Media.
community media,
Right.
that's it.
Right.
Do you think it's worth maybe next meeting having like three, having reach out to 3 different places and see what kind of conversations they're having, what ideas, and as a starting point?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. I think that's the best source of information we can get for starters. Because
We can at least review it.
they're in Wisconsin with
Right.
the same state rules and they're dealing with the same issues.
That might help us lay this kind of groundwork for a strategic plan moving forward and how this looks, right?
Right.
And what needs to be
Right.
taken care of and how this exists and continues.
Right.
Because I think, we're fulfilling the mission, right? We're
I'd like to
providing
think so.
accessible media dedicated to informing, entertaining, and sharing our community. We're doing that, but how do we keep funding it?
And at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to personnel.
Right.
I mean, if we don't have people, there's only so far we're gonna be able to go with recording things and attending meetings and providing that if we don't have qualified people to run the equipment and the technology, because you can do a certain point of it with, rather uncomplex technology. You can record meetings via Zoom, you can record files, things like that, but actually then uploading it to,
Right.
a system back there, it all means nothing if you don't have people. So our decisions may be less about money and more about qualified people, because we may, a skeleton crew, if it's just Riley, if that's it, which it was for a while, you're gonna have to sacrifice certain things. So at that point, you just survive.
Mhm.
So I think it's critical to find multiple qualified people to help, but this is not a full-time. The side of it that is, the frustrating part is it's not a full-time thing.
Right.
So if we would take it to a full-time thing when there's declining revenue, it just, you'd request one person. You'd only have one person. You wouldn't
And
be able to have.
That's what there would be.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to, it'd be on one person to do everything.
Right.
And that's not the way to do it either.
No.
So I think finding the right mix.
Well, I think us as a committee, though, it's time for us to kind of like, okay, we understand the programming side of these things. These are the things that we need to buckle down and just like, okay, how is this going to continue on, right? And just like really kind of attack it and figure out what is up. So, and I'm more than happy to reach out and talk to other folks. I've got a few friends that do work in the same realm, right? I'm more than happy to get some information from them to bring in. So, but
Great.
similar size cities as well. So, because I think what we're doing is cool, right? It's good for the community. So, and I'd like to see it continue.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Right?
Right.
I just don't want it to become a huddle cam situation all of a sudden where there's just a static camera in every room and that's where it goes, right? Those are great in circumstances, but
Right. In some certain, yeah.
right. When that's the only option.
Right. Well, and if there's a good installation, you could do that, I mean, this broadcast today isn't really that far from that,
I know.
because there's no one in there. So, it's one shot.
Yeah, but that's also things for us to keep in mind and to look at as we move forward and kind of creating where we want to be strategically.
Yeah.
So, right, and maybe that is part of the thing. Maybe some things are more live and less live, so.
Yeah, I think Adam's right. A lot of it, it's gonna come down to people.
Personnel, right.
And I know there are people that are interested in doing the kinds of video that we do, and that are happy to do a lot of it. But how?
But even the
how do we pay them?
accessibility, yeah, how do you pay them, and how, anybody can create content nowadays.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it's not special anymore. It doesn't take a sophisticated person to do it. It's just, is it gonna interest them? How many people wanna sit through meetings?
Right.
That's the other side of it, so.
To be continued.
Yeah, a lot to bring up, All right, let's talk technology updates. Anything that we need to be aware of or looking at, or kind of your wish list, or?
No, that's all really gonna be kind of driven on which way we go. Because we're,
Yeah,
there are always more things, but
qualified people.
yeah, qualified people is it,
Right.
If I had 5 people, I'd have a great big equipment list.
All right, partnerships, anything? What's the latest on Hometown?
Oh, I'm gonna have dinner with Todd
Okay,
yet this month.
okay.
We'll talk about it.
Any other?
They've made all the payments for this year.
They have,
Yeah.
good. That was my concern. Any other partnerships that you see?
No.
Time to work those deals too.
No, I haven't developed any other new partnerships.
Social media website, you said Whitney's taking care of some of the social media stuff?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
website stuff as well?
yeah.
I think there's some things that I was kind of cruising through there. There's some images that probably need to be updated on there.
Okay.
I think Gary Will's still mirroring one of the pictures.
Oh, that's
So, we'll just, and that's something, is Whit taking care of that, or are we taking care of that?
I thought Whit was taking care of that.
Okay. If it's just a WordPress page or something like that,
I'll just change the picture.
we'll just, let me know, we'll happy to help you or something on it, so. Suggestions for next meeting. I promise it won't be 5 months. I apologize about last week and the delay into it, but, we're scheduled to meet Monday, July 10th. Do you feel that's enough time to gather some of those documents that we
Yeah.
requested from those other communities?
Yeah, that's fine.
And is there any chance if you get that before that we can send that out with the agenda?
Sure.
That way you can have a couple of days to review that, or at
Great.
least, or even when they come in, if you could just send them our way, that would be appreciated. So we have somewhat of an idea
Sure.
of what we're looking at here. But do you need more staff? Or are you full? Like, are
I
you?
just had the conversation with Adam today. I think we need to hire someone else. Because the 2 that we have now are good, but one of them is still a high school student.
Okay.
And he's a high school student. And the other one is a good guy and an adult and reliable, but he's gotten a full-time job since he was hired. So he has less availability now.
Right.
So, yeah, we could use somebody else.
Okay. So pleading. Right. And if that's something we can post, I think here pretty regular, on our Facebook and socials and website and whatever, so that would be helpful again. I know we sent that information to Maddie at one time. I don't think we got anything back.
No,
On it.
Could the same thing be sent to the high school? I mean, it could be another high school student over the summer.
there could be. There could be. Yeah, sure, I could send that. Send that to Bill, send it to Sue O'Brien, send it to Travis.
Just jumped off actually, so he's not there, so, but we can get it to him.
Oh, okay.
No problems at all there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Because we gotta hook him like in 8th grade, right? So
You know,
that's-
Why not? Why
I
not
mean,
try to see if there's someone?
I did get an inquiry, I got a cold email from a high school student expressing an interest in sports journalism and being involved in our sports coverage. So I said, great, tell me a little bit about yourself. And that was the end of that.
Well, follow up again, like
Yeah.
anyone.
I guess, yeah. I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's not a question. One email, why not send another email? It doesn't hurt.
Make sure that you got the first one.
Yeah.
Just checking to make sure that you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because if he's willing to do almost like an internship or something, and maybe it wouldn't even cost us much money.
Well,
I don't know.
There's opportunities there, for credit through
Yeah.
the school as well, through work partnerships and.
I guess
those
it
things
depends
as well.
on what the school wants to see to provide a credit.
So, those are there. All right, any other suggestions for our next meeting, which is scheduled for Monday, July the 10th
At 4 p.m.
at 4 p.m.?
Sounds like we have a lot.
Yeah,
That's kind of a lot.
but
Let's really make sure we have these things on there. This is
Yeah.
what we were talking about.
please
Yeah.
make sure that if you have any other ideas or thoughts that you'd like to see on the agenda, to let either myself or Riley know that we can get those in.
Probably
All
the
right.
high school, I would reach out, obviously, this, sooner rather than later, because they'll be going on summer break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're already checked out.
All right, if no further discussion, I'll obtain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Glad you joined us.
Thanks for coming.
You like the newscaster chit chat till the cameras go off?
Yeah. Yes, Howard.